Being an open world game, the exploration is a big part of Elden Ring. The lands between are designed in a way where you can go almost anywhere right out of the gate. It's quite impressive just how open the world is. Right from the start of the game, you can go anywhere besides the capital. The game doesn't really tell you what to do at all. It just puts you into the world and lets you go anywhere. That's great, but it can't be too much of a good thing. Without some sort of direction of what the goal of the game is, it can lead players to feeling lost and having no idea what they're meant to do. In Dark Souls 1, you're told to ring the two bells, one being above and one being below. In Dark Souls 3, you're told to kill the Lords of Cinder. In Elden Ring, all you're really told is to become Elden Lord. Not only is it not elaborated on what that means, it's also not told to the player how to go about doing that. It can be assumed that by the time players get to the capital, they'll have 2 great runes, but you aren't told you need to do that in order to progress in the game. The complete lack of direction can be exciting and fun, but the game fails to provide or explain the basic goal of what to do. On a more positive note, exploring the world and discovering new areas is a blast. The exploration in Elden Ring feels amazing, and a crucial element of what makes it as good as it is the lack of hand-holding. The game doesn't really tell you a lot of what there is or where you should go. The map provides a limited view of the world, but besides that, there are no markers of what there is for you to do or find. And of course, there's nothing telling you where to go. The game invites you to be curious about the giant world it presents you with. It treats the player with respect because it's not spelling things out for you. If you see something in the distance, you can go there, and there's a chance it might be a hidden area. In fact, a lot of great areas are hidden and can only be found by exploring. The whole underground map is hidden, and so is Volcano Manor, the Helg Tree, and much more. The game encourages the player to engage with the world on their own terms. Another big thing about the game, or probably the biggest thing and one of the most fundamental aspects of the game and the world design, is that it's completely non-linear. From almost the very start of the game, you are given an insane amount of freedom, probably more than you even realize. The game hints at where you should go and it nudges you towards Stormveil Castle, but there's nothing stopping you from going in the opposite direction. You can ride south into the Weeping Peninsula or take a side path towards Liurnia, or go east towards Caelid even if you're probably not ready yet. The non-linearity fundamentally changes how the player experiences the world. There's no guide telling you where to go, which lets the player become an actual explorer making their own path through the world. Compare this to many modern open world games, where every step of your journey is marked with glowing icons and highlighted paths. In Elden Ring, there are no checklists or anything like that. Instead, the game lets you carve your own path. The open-ended world design does come with some side effects, one of which being the issue of becoming over-leveled or under-leveled depending on where you go. Because you can go pretty much wherever you want, and you can go to the areas in different orders, it's entirely possible to wander into an area where the enemies absolutely destroy you, of course Caelid being an example. With this, it's fairly obvious you aren't supposed to be somewhere if you're getting destroyed, but the opposite is also possible and probably even worse. If you explore a lot of areas and then either find a new area or return to an area you gave up on, there's a chance you could come back way too powerful. You can easily get over-leveled, and that can ruin the challenge and balance of the game. This is a natural consequence of non-linearity because you're not being funneled through the zones in a certain order, but it also sucks that you can ruin the balance like that. On the other hand, something that makes the exploration feel rewarding and exciting is the way the world keeps expanding. The simple fact of the map being incomplete contributes to one of the most magical feelings in the game. As you play and find new areas, the map slowly expands. Every new area you discover feels huge, and it's not just more of the same, it's a meaningful extension of the world. And something really great about this is that it's tied to exploration. You can find map fragments on your own by traveling and exploring the world. Even until the end of the game, you'll still be finding whole new regions. Every time you think you've seen the full scope of the lands between, the game proves you wrong, and that sense of discovery never stops. Another thing is the amount of things to do. An open world can be beautifully designed and still feel empty. However, Elden Ring doesn't really have this issue, as it has an abundance of things to do and places to see. The side content like catacombs and caves isn't great, but every once in a while it can be nice to take a break from the exploration and do a side dungeon. But besides that, just exploring the world and finding landmarks can have you playing for hours. Exploring every corner of the world and finding new areas can be a ton of fun and keep you playing for a very long time. Whether you're finding an NPC, fighting enemies or bosses in the open world, or finding a secret area, there's a ton of content to keep you playing without feeling like a checklist. But besides the actual gameplay, one of the most impressive things about Elden Ring's world is the visuals. The lands between are absolutely stunning, not just in terms of graphics, but in its art direction, aesthetics, and mood. For one thing, there is a huge variety in the types of visual aesthetics, from the rolling hills of Limgrave to the lakes of Liurnia to the underground city of Nacron with its beautiful skybox, and many more. The world of Elden Ring is actually amazing in terms of visuals. Every single corner of the world was designed with care. There really isn't a whole lot to say, the visuals speak for themselves. I mean, have you seen Raya Lucaria? And another thing is verticality. In traditional Souls fashion, verticality is a big part of Elden Ring. The world is layered with mountains and valleys and bridges and towers. It's really well put together, and like I said earlier, the size of the world is impressive as well. For the game to be this big and have all of it look as good as it does is truly an impressive feat. But yeah, Elden Ring's world design is some of the best out there, but it does have flaws. The complete non-linearity the game has contributes to the feeling of real exploration. The exploration itself is fantastic because of the lack of markers or things being shown to the player. The way the world expands as you keep playing is really well done and exciting, and the amount of content there is to do in the open world is impressive. However, the issue of over-leveling or under-leveling is real. But in the grand scheme of things, Elden Ring has a very well-designed world. Few games have worlds designed as masterfully as Elden Ring.